everyone, Troy Hurd with the Cedar Creek Dulcimer YouTube channel. We're going to do a quick little video showing you the tips and the tabs for learning how to play Always on My Mind on your Mountain Dulcimer in the traditional tuning. Since the melody is the most important part, the first set of tabs I'll be putting on the screen will be for the single melody line only, along with the words to the song. So my first tip is, as you're learning the melody, think of the words as well and how they might be sung. Then try to give that same expression to your playing. Let me give you a little example here. Also, don't be afraid to leave space in between your notes. So, here are your screenshots. Now I broke the song up into 3 sections so you can work on just one piece of the song at a time. Then when you feel like you have the melody down, come back and I'll show you how to add the harmonies and the chords. Okay, so now it's time to add the harmonies and the chords to finish out our song. The good thing is, all the techniques I use on this song you have already learned in my past videos, so there's nothing new. However, there's going to be a couple of things I'll go back over just kind of quickly just to refresh your memory. First of all, the tablature. Remember, the bottom line represents the melody. The next number up represents the middle string, and the top number represents the bass string. And when you see an X above the numbers, this means I'm usually not picking or strumming these strings at all. So we start off just playing the melody only. The middle and the bass are left open, and we don't chord the middle or the bass string until we get to fret number 4 in the song. Now the next thing that happens is a fun and interesting place in the music where we make our next chord change before we actually start the second line. And then we keep that same chord pattern all the way through until the very end of the second line. And then once again, we make our chord change before we start the third line. This time the chord change is just all open. And finally, the third line is just like our first line, except I added that little hammer-on pull-off technique on the 5th fret right before our next chord change. Now that's the same hammer-on pull-off technique that I taught on the song Kryptonite. Okay, so let's move on to the second page. Now there's nothing new here, except on the 3rd line, I like to add a backup harmony on my middle string. It's kind of like having your own backup singer. This, of course, is completely optional, but if you would like to add it, here's all it is. On the 3rd line, play the melody only. Then before you start the 4th line, play your harmony by picking the middle string only. Now the 3rd and final page. Here we start off with a harmony on our middle string only. Then when we drop down to fret number 6, we break into our full chord for 2 notes. Then if you notice, when we get to fret number 4, the middle string is left open all the way to the end of line 2. And that's because I'm using that finger to play some of my remaining melody notes. Now we come to line 3 and 4, which are very similar to the first 2 lines we just played. So no need to go over anything new there. Now our last line, which I start off by playing on just the melody string only. Then we finish off by adding in the other 2 strings on the last note of the song. Now finally, to try to give you a better visual on all of this, I'm going to play each one of the pages all the way through at a slow tempo. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this time. Hope you have a lot of fun learning how to play this song. And I hope you're having fun learning about all the possibilities of the traditional dulcimer tuning.